Hey guys, welcome to another episode.
You ready?
Hey, I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokerpreneur
go.
podcast. I'm Dr. Ben Spears, the Doctor of Flow. I'm here with the big guy as usual, Matt. How's it going, Matt?
I'm doing absolutely.
Here
Fill in the
I
blank.
am.
Fantastic.
Rock me like a hurricane.
It ain't. There's no hurricane, Ben. You're exaggerating at this point.
It's a Hurricane Mondays, everybody. Matt, we're they're saying that the hurricane. It was like
Tracking a storm.
It was coming right at us, and they're like, no, it's going a little bit north, and then it's like, no, changed our minds. We're coming back, right? Like, so what's gonna happen, man?
So my brother runs the port in Tampa.
Yeah.
For Kinder Morgan, and so whatever he said, I'll argue with him about everything. I'm the youngest of six. We argue about everything.
Right.
And but anything about the weather, I just listen to exactly what he says.
Okay,
and when he says, and he said as long as the hurricane keeps a fast pace. Mm-hmm. Then what's going to happen is that it will go north of us. We're still going to get some pretty heavy everything.
Yeah.
But he said if it slows down at all, mm-hmm. then the front that's coming across is going to push it. But we're going to have it, and that's probably what the weather channels and all that are saying. Hey, no, yes, and all that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, we won't know until we get a little bit closer to time. It's Monday. We should know by Tuesday afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, because the cone essentially just is like,
right.
If you're in the southeast part of the United States, it could hit you.
Yeah, the spaghetti model. If you guys don't know what the spaghetti model is, it's just a whole bunch of lines of where it could possibly go for all these different reasons, and it looks like Maggiano's. That's how much spaghetti is all over the model.
Exactly. Awesome, guys. Well, Matt, what are we talking about today, man?
Man, we're going to talk about there's no perfect time to recruit. We're going to get into that just a little bit. So,
awesome.
Yep.
I love it. There's no perfect time, but it's always a good time, right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yep.
So, guys, before we dive into that, make sure you hit that follow button, that subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening. Go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. Check out our Brokerpreneur Fast Track. There's a little button there where you can take a sneak peek. Go and check that out, and give us some feedback. Let us know, what you think about it, and we would love to have you part of our community.
Yep.
So, Matt.
Yeah, Ben.
There's no perfect time to recruit.
That's right.
And one of the most important things is, don't focus on perfect timing.
Right.
Focus on the actual persistence. Just like I was talking about. There's always a good time.
Right.
There's no perfect time, but every time is a good time.
Yep.
And it all boils down to that persistence. But that's really, any successful entrepreneur
absolutely
is going to tell you the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
So let's channel that into recruiting.
Yeah. So here's why we want to talk about that. Okay. So many times. So not everybody loves recruiting. Let's start with that. Okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah, seriously.
Are you serious, Clark?
I'm serious. So, and because they don't love it, there's a lot of obstacles that they'll put in the way. Yeah. Right? Like, I got to get ready to do this. I got to have the perfect recruiting letter. I got to wait until my CRM is in place and perfect before it does that. I got to all of this, right? Yeah. And you have to kind of step back and be honest with yourself. Is the reason why you're doing that is that just because you want to procrastinate because you don't want to do it? Yeah. Okay. So start with that. Okay. After you take a close look at that and go, okay, is it because I'm afraid of the rejection, or is it because I don't want to do this because I've got other things to do, right? A lot of the times what we run into is, we got to go out and sell. Yep. Right. We need to go out and sell some property in order to be able to keep the doors open. And so recruiting's going to take a back seat to that. And I'll get to it whenever I get to it. Okay. Completely 100% get that. Yeah. Okay. I'm not judging or giving anybody a hard time, because that is a very real thing to have to deal with.
Yeah. Because most of the time it's not like, you hire an agent today and you just start getting paychecks.
That's exactly right.
Right.
And so, but what I am going to say is you can't allow that to stop you from starting. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sure. So we all know this, right? This is not a revelation or shocking or anything like that.
If it is.
Yeah. If it is, welcome to being a broker.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we're glad you're here. There's a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
So,
Hey guys, this episode of the Brokerpreneur podcast is brought to you by the Speculo Group. The Speculo Group is the turnkey solution for agent and brokerage lead generation. With a focus on generating the highest quality leads from platforms like Google, YouTube, Facebook, and more, the Speculo Group is your one-stop shop to dominating your local market and beyond. Visit their website for more information at thespeculogroup.com.
But so here's why I wanted to bring that. Here's why I wanted to start with that. Let's focus on for just a second how we can be persistent and how we can get over that fear. Okay. So I'm going to go out on a limb here. Okay. Right. And I'm going to say that a lot of people that are afraid to recruit, I take that back. A lot of people that don't recruit, it's in part because they're afraid. Okay, they're afraid of rejection. There's a little bit of an ego dent when you call X amount of people and they laugh and they say, "I'd never come join you," and all that kind of stuff. So there's some fear associated with not wanting to do that.
Right.
One of the best ways of getting over fear is to take away the unexpected. Okay, here's a huge mistake that a lot of people make. They set time aside for recruiting, but they do not have the activities and the plan in place of what they're going to do during that time.
Yeah.
And what that actually does, that facilitates that fear. Okay. Yeah. So think about it like this. Let's say that I go, okay, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to spend an hour and a half in the morning. As soon as I get in, I'm going to go in and I'm going to recruit. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay. You sit down Monday morning at 9 o'clock or whatever time it is that you decided that you were going to do that, and you're not prepared, right? Everything's not in place. Everything's not ready to go.
Yeah.
When you sit down and you do that, and you're already a little concerned about the rejection possibly, and you're already a little concerned about it not going the way that you want to, how prepared are you?
Yeah.
Right? And if you're not prepared, how much worse does that make it whenever you're going, okay, now it's time for me to pick up the phone and reach out to people, or now it's time for me to start texting, or now it's time for me to turn on my CRM and see who it is that I'm supposed to follow up with, however it is that you've got that set up. Yeah. I'm going to reach out to my virtual assistant, or I'm going to talk to my recruiting manager and see who they have for me to connect with. If you're not ready to do all that and you're already concerned or afraid, that actually just escalates that fear. Mentally, it just made it harder for you to do that.
Yeah.
That's so we use something called a 5-5-2, right?
Yep.
And so the 5-5-2 is laid out so that whenever you sit down, you know exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. You're not digging into a database. You're not okay. Part of the reason why we use this is because, a lot of managers are on the go, right? So if on Monday morning you said, okay, Monday morning at 9 o'clock, I'm going to sit down and recruit. Well, Sunday night at 10 o'clock, you get a text that says, hey, shit just hit the fan. And so I'll see you at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Right. Right. So you start doing that, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I've got 2 minutes. I'm sitting at the house. The person's coming up to re-inspect. I got to sneeze here in just a second. Maybe. We'll see.
2, 3. I should have counted down.
I know, right? But then you'd have had to know how long.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But so at 8:30 in the morning, you get there for the reinspection, and you got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. And so what do you got to do? You got to log into your CRM on your phone. Does every CRM make it easy for you to log in on your phone?
Very few.
Absolutely. Oh, whoops. Oh, absolutely. They say they do, right?
Yeah.
So now you got to go in and figure out exactly where you're at with that. If you're sitting there waiting for a reinspection and that's in your head, you know that you had time set aside to do this. Now you have to log into something to be able to do that. How confident are you in that? Right? Because remember, where's confidence come from? From competency.
Right.
How capable are you to be able to do that right then? If you're not really capable of easily being able to do that, then it gets pushed aside. How does that make you feel on Wednesday? Like you're already behind. Right? Like you have to catch up. So all of these things are adding up. So whenever we talk about being persistent, we're talking about having a plan and ready to play. Again, that's why we use a 5-5-2, right? That's why our clients use the 5-5-2. It's sitting right there. So if you have that time before someone walks in the front door for the reinspection or whatever it is, you literally know that exactly what you're going to say, who you're going to talk to. All of that is laid out right there so that you can hurry up and do that and move on back to whatever it is that you were supposed to focus on.
Yeah.
That's because the more prepared you are for it, the more competent, the more confident you're going to feel, which makes it easier in the long run for you to be persistent with it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So So once you actually have that time and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be persistent, right? And I'm just gonna, no matter what, I'm gonna get it done, and I'm gonna have my plan laid out for what I'm gonna do to make it easy. There's still no magic,
Right.
right? There's still hard work involved, right? It doesn't mean that it's just gonna be easy. We can make it easy,
Right.
easier,
Right.
right? But however you recruit, unless it's just absolutely your favorite thing to do in the world, there's still going to be some. All right, I gotta get through this. Right. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So there is no magic. The reason why I named it that is because I'm a huge YouTube fan, right?
Yeah, and magic.
Well, not really, but kind of.
Abracadabra.
Right. So huge YouTube fan.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I like watching clips, short little breaks of whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And so, America's Got Talent and all that kind of stuff. Love that. There's always incredible singers. There's always, right? And you can watch top 10 of this season, right? And all that kind of stuff. Inevitably, there's always a magician in there.
You know it.
Right. And some of these magicians are just mind blowing. Right?
I love it.
Yeah. And, but the truth is, it's just a trick.
You know it.
And I mean, it's a good trick.
It
right?
is.
It is a good trick. But it's not, and that's what magic is, right? Magic is not Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Magic is a bunch of tricks put together. Okay. So whenever we say there's no magic, there's no trick to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we mean by that is, you can't wave a magic wand and it just happened for you. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can't just trick your way into it. Now we say this all the time on some of the stuff, tips, tricks, and hacks, right?
Yeah.
And we love tips, tricks, and hacks. The reason why we love that and we love the trick part, I'm going to let you guys in a little secret, and I hope it doesn't break anybody's heart. We're tricking you into recruiting. We're not tricking the recruits into coming to see you when we say tips, tricks, and hacks, okay? So what that means is that we're helping you get better at doing what it is that you're doing, because we're helping you focus on a different way. Like we just talked about with persistence and using something simple like the 552 instead of making something overcomplicated, right? There's no magic here.
Yeah.
Right? You just have to roll up your sleeves. You've got to dig in. You got to do the things that you need to do, and you have to make sure that you're ready and prepared to pick up the phone if that's what you need to do. You got to be ready to send the email if that's what you need to do. You got to be ready to invite somebody to the event or challenge that they need to do. You've got to be ready to lean in and help someone out, knowing that they might not ever join your company. Okay?
Yeah.
If you're ready to do those things, if you're ready to pay attention to those, there's no trick there.
Oh yeah.
That's just value first. There's no magic there. That is just you doing the things that you need to do and connecting with people on a level that helps them feel more comfortable about what it is that you do and how you do it.
No, I absolutely love it. Well, Matt, anything else you want to add before I put a little bow on it?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk for just a second about platforms, okay? Because
perfect.
Yeah, okay. So whenever we say there's no trick to it, okay? I love it whenever people use platforms to leverage. I think that's absolutely positively fantastic.
Talk to me about platforms.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different recruiting tools out there, okay? And I love that. And when I say recruiting tools, I mean systems. I'm not talking about people.
Yeah, exactly. You're a recruiting tool.
You're a recruiting tool. So we're talking about systems, right? There's a ton of them, and they're really awesome. But let's take a step back and look at the agents in your office. The agents in your office, how many of your tools and systems do they use at 80% or more? Okay? If you're going to use a recruiting tool, you have to dedicate yourself to using that at 80% or better.
Yeah.
Do not just put it in place and let it do the one thing that you think that's going to work. Okay, you need to look at the whole tool and lean into the whole tool as much as you possibly can and put that in place. If you're not willing to do that, I urge you to not pay the money on that. Okay?
Yeah.
If you're going to lean in and try to do 80% of it and really do what it is that you're supposed to do, absolutely positively, I love that. Matt, you should 100% do that.
Yeah.
So here's the, so with us, this is a little bit of a plug for us, right? So we're not a recruiting tool, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we're not something that helps people recruit for the most part. That's probably the wrong way of saying it, but we don't help people. What we do is we help brokers with recruiting. There's a big difference between the two. right?
Yeah.
So we help whenever things are not going the way that they're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
There's a tool and system that if it's not going to go in the way it's supposed to, and you call the person that sold it to you, they're going to say, well, you're not using it right. And they're going to say it nicely, right?
Yeah, right.
With us, this is about the broker and their profitability. This is about and how to be in a situation that's better, and what are the nuances that allow you to learn at a different level. We are so what we are about is the broker. Yeah. We're not about just the recruiting, right?
Yeah.
So from a big picture standpoint, whenever it comes to a platform, that's how you have to look at that platform. You've got to treat it like it's exactly that. If it is a platform, you need to treat it like it's a platform and use 80% of it. You've got to absolutely positively lean into that.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to commit to doing that, just understand that tool is just about recruiting. It is not about you as the broker.
Yeah.
And so you have to be, you got to have your head on straight, and you got to have it on a swivel and square it up whenever you need to, and get rid of the gaps and focus on the stuff that you're supposed to, but still keep your head, looking at the peripheral of things, right?
Yeah.
Is everything going in the market the way that it's supposed to, that's going to allow you to win at the level that you want to from a recruiting standpoint. Okay.
Yeah.
So big picture, leverage the tool a lot. Small picture, make sure that you are honest with yourself about whether you're afraid, whether you're prepared, and whether or not you're using the tool and system the way that you should be using the tool and system.
Yeah, and also know, it's nearly impossible to use any tool or system at 100%. So
yeah, you're killing it if you're at 80. Yeah,
you're killing it if you're at 80. So if you're one of those perfectionists out there, don't beat yourself
be careful.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're well ahead of the game probably if you're at 70%. So, guys, Matt, let me ask one more time.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add before I put a little bow on it?
No, I think we're good.
I've been trying to wrap this thing up, I guess.
I see.
A couple times. Yeah. Well, guys, wherever you're listening to this, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, any of those platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching us on YouTube, what's up?
What up?
Hit that red subscribe button, that bell right beside of it, get notified every time we drop a new episode. It's no better time than right now than to go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. Check out all the cool things that we have to help you grow your brokerage, no matter what phase or stage of the business that you're in. Matt.
Yep.
It's Brokerpreneur Podcast, man. We do everything for one reason and one reason alone. Tell them what that is, man.
Because like a hurricane, we want to blow you away and be part of your win.
That's right.
No?
Safely.
Safely away.
Okay.
Right, bye.